Hi friends, my name is Naomi. Welcome back to my channel. So that felt really weird to say because I haven't filmed in a long time. So the last couple of videos that I filmed were back in December, and at the end of December, early January, I got really sick. It wasn't COVID or the flu or anything like that. I just got really sick for like 2 weeks. I didn't really read or film, obviously, and ever since I've just been really busy. Like January 2023 has been a whole year of its own. So I haven't really had the time to film my January TBR, all of the videos that I wanted to film, but I have a lot of content planned that I'm really excited to film. And yeah, today I'm going to share with you all my February TBR. It's super long. I'm not going to get to all of these books, but these are kind of my February hopefuls. First off, I'm going to start with 2 books that I don't own. One of them is Thank You for Listening by Julia Whelan. I am reading this for the Buzzword Readathon, or the Buzzword Reading Challenge hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. Every month, for every single month of the year, there is kind of like a buzzword theme, and for February it is verbs. So I will be reading Thank You for Listening, which is a verb, and I haven't read anything by Julia Whelan. I think this is her debut, but she's pretty popular because she is an audiobook narrator, and she does narrate the audiobook for her own book, and it does have to do with like an audiobook person, narrator person, and it's kind of like a romance, I'm assuming. So I'm really excited. I've heard that Julia Whelan is an amazing audiobook narrator, and I just think it's really cool that she decided to write her own book after being a narrator for so long, and having that kind of main character who's an audiobook narrator, I think it's really unique. So I'm excited to read it, and obviously I will be listening to the audiobook for that. Another book that I don't own, I don't know if I'll be buying it or doing the audiobook or what yet, but I am planning on reading Pride, Prejudice, and Peril, which is the Cozy Holo book club pick for the month of February. So this just seems to be like kind of like a Pride and Prejudice retelling. It's obviously cozy mystery. I don't know much about it, but I'm really excited to read it. I think I've read almost every single Cozy Holo book club pick so far, so I'm excited. It's one of my favorite book clubs, so yeah, that's another one that I'm hoping to read in the month of February. And now on to my physical TBR, which is very long and very ambitious. The next book that I have is my book of the month pick, and that is Lunar Love by Lauren Kung Jessen. This one is a romance, and basically our main character, Olivia Huang, she's kind of taking over her family's legacy, which is like this matchmaking app, dating app, and apparently there's like another app who is kind of the competitor, and it's being run by this like eligible bachelor, so I'm assuming it's kind of like an enemies to lovers. They're kind of going head to head, competing with these similar apps, so I'm really excited to read it. Enemies to lovers, I mean, I don't know, I don't think I've ever really read anything that's enemies to lovers that I love, but I'm excited to pick this one up. I kind of went for like the romance theme a little bit. Everything else after these 2 books, it's not really. But next up I have The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I've heard this one is a little bit of magical realism. It does deal with grief, and basically this one follows Florence, and she is a ghostwriter, and basically she just went through a really bad breakup, and she's supposed to be ghostwriting for romance. So basically she doesn't believe in love anymore, and suddenly she is supposed to go back home because apparently her father just passed away, and I believe her family like owns a funeral parlor, and at the end of the description it says that she sees a ghost. So I do think that this is, like I said, magical realism. I don't know if she like falls in love with this ghost or something, but I do know that it's magical realism, it's romance, it does do with grief. I think I've heard it's funny, and I'm excited to read it. Next up I have a nonfiction, which is really surprising for me, and that is Attach. I don't even know who wrote this. Amir Levin and Rachel Heller. So I've been recommended this book a couple times. I think this book has to do with adult attachments and romantic attachments, so like anxious attachment, avoidant, and all of that. So I've just been, you know, going through my own things, and I just wanted to learn more about it. So apparently this has to do with anxious, avoidant, and secure attachments, and everyone has their own attachment style. So I think this is really like helpful for people to learn their own attachment styles and maybe their partners, like to read more about it. I've heard this book is really, really good, so I'm excited to learn something, and again, continuing the romantic type of theme for February. Okay, originally for my February TBR, I only had 2 more books, but then I bought 3 books yesterday at Target, and I'm just really, really excited. You know when you buy like a book and you're just so excited to read it? Like, I just had to add these to my TBR. I can't promise that I'm going to read them, but I'm gonna add them in this video. Next up, I have The Black Queen by Jumata Emil, and this was sent to me by Penguin Teen, so thank you so much, Penguin Teen, for sending this my way. And I just read the inside of this. I had no idea what it was about, but I just saw the cover and I was really excited to read this. So basically this follows, her name is well, it doesn't follow her, but Nova Albright is the first black homecoming queen at Lavette High, and she is found dead. And basically she was going against this other girl whose name was Tinsley, and she is beautiful, wealthy, and white, and it is her legacy to win the homecoming crown. And apparently she is kind of like the main suspect for Nova's death. And I'm assuming there's a whole bunch of other like high school drama things, but it sounds really interesting. Murder and young adult, I love me a murder mystery and young adult. So I'm really excited to read this. The cover is just amazing. Like, I hadn't even read the description of it, and I was like, I'm going to read this next month. So thank you so much, Penguin Teen, for sending this my way, and I'm really, really excited to read this one. The next one I have, it's a very hopeful February read, and that is, I don't even know how to say this, Babel, I don't know, but this one by R.F. Kuang, and this is a hefty fantasy novel. I honestly don't know much about it besides the fact that it is fantasy and it's kind of historical fiction, and it's a little bit of dark academia. Is set in London, England, which I'm really excited because I haven't mentioned on this channel that I'm going to be traveling to London and Scotland in September, so I'm really excited to read a couple more books that are set in London and England and Scotland and all of that. But yeah, this is like a high fantasy book. It seems really intimidating, like with the world building and everything. I don't know how well I'll understand this book because I'm not that smart, but I am really excited. I've seen so many people love this book, and I'm kind of in a fantasy mood right now. I just reread Ninth House and read the sequel Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, and I've been really enjoying the experience of fantasy and world building, so I feel like that's why I put this on my TBR right now, because I'm really in the mood for fantasy. But we'll see, because she is thick. I don't know how many pages. Well, it's 540 pages long. I honestly don't know why I thought this book was like 800 pages. So 540, like, it's pretty thick, but I'm not as intimidated anymore. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this, hopefully this month, but we'll see. Okay, and then the last 3 books, I'll go pretty quickly. These weren't originally my TBR. My original TBR was everything that I just talked about, and then I bought these books yesterday, and I'm just really excited about them. So yeah, the first one is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Don't know much about this besides that it is a mystery thriller. It has been compared to The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I kind of love me sort of like an au pair story. I do believe this one is like obviously a housemaid, so it's about this lady that cleans this beautiful house, the Winchester's beautiful house, and there is a murder and there are secrets, and it just sounds really, really fascinating to me. So excited to read this, and I was really glad that I found this at Target. And then I have 2 more. The next one was actually recommended to me by Jordyn from Sorry Book Solid. I have this like reading challenge that I'm trying to complete, and one of them was to read a book recommended by a friend, and Jordyn recommended The Mesher by Nikki Ehrlich. I don't know anything about this book besides that I think it's dystopian, but honestly I could be completely wrong about that. I just read like the first 2 sentences, and it says 8 ordinary people, 1 extraordinary choice. Honestly, I think I'm gonna leave it there because I kind of want to be surprised. Hopefully it is dystopian because I've been really excited to read another really good dystopian book. I feel like I haven't read one in a while, so I'm hoping that I love this one. And then the last book that I bought and the last book on my February TBR is How to Sell Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I've only read one other Grady Hendrix book before, and that one was My Best Friend's Exorcism, and I really enjoyed that one. Wait, I just lied. I've read two by Grady Hendrix, and I loved the Best Friend's Exorcism, and then I also read the vampire one, which was like a 3-star. I didn't really love that one, but I still enjoyed it. So I'm excited for this one because it seems like I'm gonna really like it because it has like a haunted house theme and vibe, so I'm really excited. I just listened to Grady Hendrix's interview with the Pro Book Nerds, one of my favorite podcasts. So I listened to that podcast, and Grady Hendrix is just such a smart man. He really like thinks everything through with formats and audiobooks, and even the covers. He has like a really big say in them, which a lot of authors don't. So I'm really excited to read this, and yeah. So those are all of the books that I want to read in the month of February. I probably won't get to all of them, but I hope so. I had one more book, and I'm literally just gonna mention it really fast, but it's not gonna happen. I wanted to read The Daughter of the Moon Goddess, but that will be left for another month in this year. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I have a lot of content planned for the rest of the year, so expect to see my face soon again. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!